According to a recent study by the New York Times, climate scientists say we don't have 12 years, but 17 months to solve the climate crisis. Last year, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reported that to keep the rise in global temperatures below 1.5 Celsius this century, emissions of carbon dioxide would have to be cut by 45% by 2030. But today, observers recognize that the decisive political steps to enable the cuts in carbon to take place will have to happen before the end of 2020. Although there are 17 months left to drag our planet away from a mass extinction, media coverage of the climate crisis has been shockingly low, even in December when the Australian wildfires became the reason for global hysteria on global warming.
People don't really understand it until you actually see it coming at you in a wall of flame.
Australien kämpft weiter gegen Rekordhitze und verheerende Buschbrände.
Дым от лесных пожаров в Австралии достиг Новой Зеландии. Горные ледники.
However, very few people know that the wildfires began in September 2019. In many countries, the news didn't even cover the wildfires, while some covered it much after the beginning. This media coverage did not last very long. According to Associated Press Turkey, only 75 newspapers out of 1,075 in Turkey covered the Australian wildfires in their daily publications, starting in August and lasting through 3 months and 16 days, while the Australian wildfires have been going on for more than 5 months. Looking at the statistics from a more global perspective, a survey of online news on the wildfires conducted by Associated Press Turkey finds that a total of 29,821 articles were published online on an international scale since September, while American news companies had totaled an article count of 15,712. Australia lagged behind with 9,811 articles. Other countries such as Germany, 184 articles, Switzerland, 164 articles, Russia, 139 articles, Egypt, 77 articles, Brazil, 66 articles, Iran, 45 articles, and Morocco, 5 articles, failed to cover this climate disaster that poses a global threat to rising temperatures.
Although the wildfires started in September 2019, which is not common knowledge, the news in Turkey and worldwide didn't cover it until the wildfires grew too large to stop. This is unacceptable. We had believed for a long time that we had until 2030 to revert the climate crisis. However, we can't do that unless people start to wake up. Things are getting out of hand, and our striking will not stop forests from burning unless we are visible through the media and people decide to listen to us.
The climate strikes are great in the sense that they raise awareness among people, especially among young people. However, unfortunately, these strikes aren't enough. We still need the adults on board. We need the decision makers to comprehend the urgency of the situation and to take action regarding climate crisis. And therefore, the strikes aren't enough. Our next movements will include connecting with local governments and to convince them in order to act on the climate crisis and pass some legislations according to the green revolution that we request from them. So we will not just stick with the strikes. We will go past that, go beyond that, and we will connect with individual people in order to change the system actually.
But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you.
Especially in the media nowadays, we see a general neglect regarding the climate crisis. For example, in the Australian wildfires, we saw that it was frequently mentioned in media. However, the link between the fires and the climate crisis wasn't at all mentioned in Turkish media. Places like Açık Radio, for example, always mention these catastrophes and always try to amplify the voices of the youth. However, other than that, we don't see much media representation, and that's a huge problem. This leads to a general neglect over the climate crisis, and especially the consequences of the climate crisis. That's a huge problem, and actually we needed to wake a long time ago. However, we didn't, and better late than never. We need to do something right now.
We have only 17 months to do something. This generation has failed ours, but the leaders of the future will achieve more.
Our generation taking the stand to advocate for climate justice was the start. We have been acting all around the world, trying to influence global leaders and citizens to take action to stop this carelessness over the environment. But speeches and strikes aren't enough. We have 17 months, and the countdown starts now.
Lucky I got